So there's an American foxhound, there's an English hound, which was bred in England. And a lot of hunts will cross the two and have a crossbred hound. And interestingly, there's a breed of hound that was bred, it's called the Penmarydale hound, and it was bred specifically for the swamps of the eastern shore. And they're smaller, and so that they can kind of go through the brambles and the marshes. Their toes are more, they don't have an upright foot. Their toes are more spread out, and they're not quite webbed, but they have longer toes, and they're kind of down in their ankles a bit, and it allows them to kind of navigate the marsh a bit. Their ears are longer than the American and the English hounds. And it's to trap the scent, and they're smaller, they're little hounds, and they have kind of more pointy noses, and it's because the hound only moves because they're following the fox by scent. The hound is only moving as fast as the fox is moving. So if the fox is sort of tiptoeing through the marsh, that's very little scent coming out, and so they hold scent in and they smell it every little step. And so the Penmarydale hound is a very particular hound because they run in very difficult marshy territory. They are they have a cold nose, and they smell every little bit of it. So that's a special breed that was bred to hunt in our swamps on the eastern shore in the brambles. And the Penmarydale hounds, because they kind of have hunted in marshes, they have, in fox chasing, when the hound bays, it's called their voice. And so the Penmarydale hounds, because they'll be out in the marshes and the deep woods and the wetlands, they have an amazing voice, and it just booms. And so they're well known for their cold nose, their big ears, their little stature, and their really big voice. So a lot of other hunts that maybe have the big, hard driving English and American hounds will breed some of the Penmarydale into their pack just for their voice, because they have an amazing, it makes I get goosebumps, it makes the hair stand up on your body when you hear it. It's pretty amazing.
So they're not considered a beagle, they're actually a hound.
A foxhound, correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Are there, I just wanted to ask, how long has that breed been around? How long did it take to develop that? Do we
That's
know?
a great question. I don't know the answer to
okay,
that.
I was curious, if it, okay.
Yeah.
But it is a breed now, though,
Yes,
definitely.
it's a recognized
Okay.
breed, yeah.
Very cool, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
And are there specific people that breed them in our area to have them, or is that?
No, there's a large group of fox hunters in our area that are not organized. And so like a couple people who are interested, and they'll just have a couple, and they generally hunt by pickup truck. So they'll just have a couple of them, and they get together on someone's farm where they have permission, and they'll just hunt. So, no, not really.
And sometimes if you're passing them, or you're out in your yard and they go, you can hear the hounds barking.
I
Yeah,
love that,
Yeah, you can hear them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really like a bay, or is it a bark?
It's a bay.
Yeah,
It's a bay.
because it's a little bit different than a
Yeah,
bark.
the bark is generally indicative that they're not running a fox. Like sometimes it can be a turkey or a raccoon, and then they get like, this isn't right, and that's kind of they chatter, they kind of bark, and they get excited like, this isn't right.
In the old days, in the kings and queen days, was the object to get the fox and kill it in the old days? And then they won the prize or whatever?
I don't know about a prize, but in England, historically, they would kill the fox because it was a pest.
But we don't do that.
No. And the fox, because it's scent-based, this was really interesting, this has always been really interesting to me. If a fox is scared, it has no scent. So when it gets scared, it stops putting down scent.
Oh my gosh.
If it's running and the hounds are chasing it, it is putting down a ton of scent. A female fox who is pregnant has no scent, and the kits have no scent. So, sometimes when we're out and we have hounds out and we're following the fox, if we were all standing somewhere in the field and the fox was crossing the field and spotted us, and it'll make eye contact and it stops, that is that is a little bit of a fright in the fox, like, ooh, what was that? When the hounds get to that spot, there's no more scent.
Wow.
And so the fox, when the fox gets calm, it will have scent again. And so it might be 5 minutes that the fox travels, that there is no scent. And so the hounds have to work and pick that up again. But that gives that fox an advantage, room. If the fox is scared or something has happened, it gives the fox room to get to safety if it feels threatened at all.
So if you're on horseback chasing with your dog, the fox, are you going fast to keep up with the dogs and the fox, or are you
Sometimes.
laid back?
Sometimes. It really varies. There are different types of people that follow along. Some people ride right with the hounds, right up behind the hounds and who are moving quickly behind the fox. Sometimes as we get older, we slow down and we might just sit up on a hillside and watch. If you have a young horse or a really old horse, you might not want to be right up in, the horse is a large part of it, because they have to be able to withstand all of the excitement.
Exactly.
And
And the terrain.
in the terrain. So if you're not wanting to keep right up, you might go sit on a hillside and kind of follow along more slowly. Yeah. And so when we go as a club to a farm, we have permission. We've asked the landowner. There are people within our club who coordinate that, and in general, it takes about 600 acres to be able to accommodate hounds and a hunt. And we try to, in general, it's much easier to keep everything contained on a hunt or on a farm that's surrounded by water, because then you're on 3 sides by water. So then the hounds aren't going to other people's properties, because not everyone wants a whole pack of hounds coming through.
I love that.
I love it too. I love to hear it, but not everybody does.
Yeah, I know.
So in order to help out with that, we have the huntsman who has a horn, and the hounds know his horn sounds. So there are sounds that he makes with the horn that call the hounds in, and then there are sounds that he makes with his horn that send the hounds out. They know that's the cue to hunt. And so that's what this is. There are people who are volunteers with the hunt, and they're called the whippers in, and they keep the hounds safe. So for example, if they're headed to a road, or if they're doing something that is not, if they're headed to a road, if a rebel hound decided that it's easier to run a deer than it is to chase a fox, things like that would keep them from, this is a whip, and this makes a really loud crack, and so you crack this in the air, and it makes it's a really, really loud noise. And so there are usually 2 whippers in, and they sort of flank the huntsman, and if the hounds get, in danger of getting to a road, you crack the whip, and then the hounds, they know that's like, whoa.
Are you a whipper?
I was for years.
She's a whippersnapper.
You
I was. And it's really, I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, so that's what
I want to
she
do, I want to be a whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you get interested?
Hey, Jenny.
How did you get interested in doing this?
I always rode, And there was a guy in Chestertown who said, you need to come, he was a member of the hunt, and he said, you have to come with us, and you'd really like it, because we were, on the farm, we were busy in the summertime, and so I didn't have time to ride, and I had all sorts of time to ride in the wintertime, and that's when they ride. Fox hunting is an agrarian sport, so they start in September and hunt through March, so it kind of fit what I was doing.
How about your husband, does he go with you?
He'll come on foot.
I have in the past, but not on a horse.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Just go on foot.
yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
We have people that walk.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
I would
okay.
think
It's
so.
fascinating,
Yeah,
because you get to see, you
right.
can kind of just be in the
That
woods
would
and
be
see all of the
really
action. It's
interesting.
really fun.
Okay.
If you like to be outside and you like to socialize and you just like to be a part of nature, it's a really great way to
Nice.
spend it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fun.
And you were saying that there's not, at this time, any current places up in our area, Centerville, Sudlersville, that hunt anymore on like what you're talking about?
Not really,
Not really.
Galena.
Galena, that-
Yep, we go, so we hunt from Elkton to Bethel, Delaware.
Okay.
And there are about 15 farms that we're on, so on 544 at the, at Chino Farms on both sides of the road there.
Yeah, come on,
Starkey Farms in Galena.
Oh, yeah.
in there.
I know, I'm scared. Nobody coming in.
Yeah,